Hey folks, well first off I want to apologize for not keeping up my word. I told you at the beginning of this year, pretty recently, that I would be going out and not missing any weeks and keeping up with my YouTube thing and getting it going hardcore again, and I had done that. I got like 4 or 5 trips in before the bugs in May, and I have all that footage and it's all going to come out and stuff, but I had a tragedy happen in my family and it kind of set things back a little bit. My little brother Isaac passed away, and it was my greatest fear come true, my mom's greatest fear come true, my sisters, everybody who knew him. He was troubled for a long time. He had bouts of psychosis, and he had depression and plenty of other things going on. He was a great guy. We loved him. He was loved so much by his family, and he loved us so much. We don't really know what happened, to be honest with you. It could have been a heart attack induced by substance. I'm going to talk a little bit freely on this video. I'm not going to monetize it. It's not going to stay monetized even if I did, and the thought of me making a cent off my brother's passing is just repulsive. So I'm going to say some things in this video that you might not appreciate or may not want to hear your loved ones to hear. So just a heads up. But I'm going to talk here for a bit about some real stuff, and if you want to listen, please do. I want my pain, my tragedy to be your lesson, because I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I have cried so much that I've given myself my first migraine of my life. I'm 39 years old. I've never had a migraine before. Now this is day 7 of this. It's all on the right side. So don't think I'm cold if I'm not crying. I just can't do it anymore because of the physical pain. I grew up an only child for like 10 years. My mom and me and my grandma, and I was raised religious, very born again Christian, and I would always pray for a father and for a brother and sister, and that's what I wanted. And when I was 6, my mom married a man named Ron, and he became my father, and they had 2 kids, Abigail and Isaac. Abigail was 8 years younger than me, and Isaac was 10 years younger than me, and yeah, I moved away, you know what I mean? I was older than them. I babysat them for quite some time. They were a pain in my butt a lot. I was not very nice to them when I was younger because they took up a lot of my free time. I didn't realize that was going to be the case. And as we grew older, we grew closer together. I remember at one point my sister lived with me for a couple years, and my brother, I went into he started having psychosis when he was right around 16, and I believe it was brought on by substance as well. Pardon me. I'm no saint. I've dabbled, you know what I mean? I have more than experimented in my life, but and I'm not glorifying that by any means. It's just where I'm from. It's part of life, right? And most people grow up and grow out of that. The problem is, like, I didn't have too many mental problems growing up. Maybe I have some now, but like, I was pretty good when I was growing up. I was pretty squared away. And I can't say the same for my brother and my sister. You know what I mean? So it was hard growing up and watching that happen to them. My brother more so. My sister has some kids, and that really grounds you. You know what I mean? That really makes you understand what your priorities are, and you know that you can't mess up in life. And that's helped me out quite a bit. I would never. I would go work a 9-to-5 job tomorrow if I had to support my family. I love them more than breath itself, and they know that. And I would do anything for them. And I'm sure that 99.9% of the mothers and fathers feel that way. But when you don't have children, you don't really have that that need to be good, that responsibility, right? And that coupled on top of living in Windsor, where it's like you're working at a factory. If you're lucky, you're paying tons of money to stay at this crappy little place. There's no outdoor stuff to do. There's nothing really to do. And my brother Isaac, he just didn't really have too many friends. He's just part of the whole thing, right? Like part of the, and anybody who has had any relatives with any kind of mental issues, they're gonna understand what I'm talking about. It's legit. It's like fingernails don't get cut. You know what I mean? Houses don't get cleaned. He put on a lot of weight. I trusted this guy with my life, and I still would. I would trust him with my family, my kids, no problem. Like that's not. He was not a bad person. He was trying to quiet the voices in his head. It could have been a heart attack, like I was starting to say. It could have. Somebody could have slipped that Entanol in there, and who knows? We don't get the report back from the coroner for another couple weeks, but I had to go down and deal with all this with my mom, and not that I had to. Of course, I did. I jumped at the fact that as soon as I found out, I left, and that is a crazy story as well. Tosh and I were out in the middle of the bush, and I didn't. We were only gone for one night. We had just come back from a 2-night trip. We got out early, so we went out again from my place for one night to this really cool spot. We're having a great trip. It's like 8:30 at night, and all of a sudden he gets a message on his Zolio. My wife Will and his girlfriend know each other, and it's a message saying there's an emergency at home. Joe needs to get home now. Or there's an emergency. Joe needs to get home now. And immediately I broke down because I knew something was just severely wrong. And as bad as that sound, and so we packed up at 8:30 at night, and I freaking left Tosh in the dust, man. And we paddled in Portage to get out in the pitch black for probably should have taken 4 hours. We got out in 2, and all I knew was something was wrong. So I left Tosh in the dust, and as bad as it sounds, I'm praying this whole time. I hope it's the dog. As bad as that sounds, I'm hoping it's the dog, because otherwise, what is it? I know it's not Will, because she made the text. It's either my kids, it's my mom, it's my brother, it's the dog. I just knew that. And as bad as it sounds, I even was feeling so bad about thinking, I hope it's something happened to the dog. Paddle in Portage, finally, he's screaming for me. I waited for him out of Portage, and he paddles up, and he got the next text, and he goes, Joe, he goes, Will's okay. Your kids are fine. I go, the dog? He goes, no, man. I go, my brother's gone. He goes, I'm sorry. And I knew it. Like I said, it was one of my greatest fears. Every night my mom would be worried before going to bed. But anyways, I had to deal with that out on a Portage with Tosh, and thank you very much to Tosh for helping me out with that. Thank you to his lady for getting the message across. If I was out there having fun and needed to be home, it wouldn't have been good. But I got back, and then left for Windsor bright and early the next morning, drove the whole way, got there. It was so sad. He didn't even have any friends or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, his psychosis was a bit messed up, and it was hard for him social situations were hard for him. That's why the drinking helped quite a bit too. But we didn't have a funeral. It was just me, my mom, my sister, my mom's husband, Joe, basically Isaac's dad. And we just all said something about him, and I sat with him and held him. He was cold. You guys, he was cold, man. It was so bad. He's my little brother. He's 28. We were friends. He looked up to me. I moved away. You know what I mean? I have so much regret. This is what I really wanted to get to. You can't put things off, and like it sucks that it takes something like this to kick this into high gear again for you. Like you think about this in certain situations in life when a loved one passes or something like this happens. It's just like, man, the world doesn't wait for you. You know what I mean? I wish I had more time. He was supposed to come up this summer and camp with me again. We went camping last year or the year before, and it was such a bad situation. I tried to have him do too much because I wanted to get into a good spot, and he just couldn't hack it, and he felt all bad about it, and I didn't film it because of that. And I left. I left them all. I left them all years ago. They're all in Windsor, just living there, and I would help them. But like, he would message me for money, and I didn't want to give it to him because I didn't want to support it, and I didn't want this to happen. Like, imagine if I gave him the money and then this happened. You know what I mean? Like, I've never lost someone this close to me. I've lost my best friend the same way, though. You know what I mean? I lost my best friend the same way 10 years ago, the same age. Same age. I'm 39. My little brother was 28 when he died. You guys, you gotta. If you. I wish I did more. He told me he needed help. He told me he needed help, and I wish I did more. There's nothing I can do now. It's too late. I'm never gonna see my little brother again, you guys. It's such a crazy thing to think about. It doesn't even seem real. He needed my help and I left, you know? And I'm not trying to have a pity party for me, please. That's not what I'm after. What I'm after is for you to understand how serious I am about this. If you have someone in your life that you haven't spoken to for some stupid reason, even if it was for a real reason before, what does it matter? You know what I mean? If you grew up with them, if you love them, if you had love for them, if you need to reach out, or if you know someone that needs help, if you, the likelihood of this just going away is very slim. People need help. I gotta live my life better for my girls. I can't leave them early like this. I don't really know what else to say. Please take care of your loved ones. Me and Isaac were more than friends, more than brothers. We were friends. You know, like, it was like one of his only friends, and I can't get him back. And all the guilt and responsibility I feel is just going to. It's going to amplify the fact that I got to be better for everybody. I got to be better for my family and my friends and people I don't know, and try to help out people instead of looking at people with maybe with disgust or with like pity or fear. Certain types of people, maybe I need to look at them with compassion and try and help them, because I can't help my brother now. Please, I don't need. I'm not in this for anything other than just a heads up to you guys about why I'm going to be gone, and about being good to each other, and telling. Please just call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time and just tell them you love them if you do. Tell them you miss them. Tell them you think about them, you appreciate them, you care about them, and ask them if there's anything you can do for them. Ask them how they need help. I will be back soon, and I'll get these videos edited and out for you. Please pass the word on. Alright? Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. If I've ever done anything to slight any of you, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. I'm a selfish idiot.